Good evening, everyone. Welcome to GSS Core. This is Ajay Shah. So let's start the class of 10 MCQs from current affairs. And today all the questions are from science and tech. This is the first question. For the first question says with which of the following companies organization the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology has signed an statement of intent to roll out Build for Digital India programs? Facebook, Microsoft, Google, Powerhouse Cooper. So the correct answer is Google. India Ministry has signed with Google, that is Build for Digital India program. Now what is this Build for Digital India program? So the program will give engineering students a platform to develop technological-based solutions to address key social problems of our country. As part of the program, engineering students across the country will be invited to apply and join in a learning journey that will help them to transform their bright ideas into a real-world solution. Now, the applicants will take part in online and offline learning opportunities on key technologies such as machine learning, cloud, and Android. Now, this will be offered through Google's Developer Student Clubs network and other Google's developer networks. Now, Google will also offer mentorship sessions in product design, strategy, technology to the most of the promising products and the prototypes. So that's all. So now the engineering students of our country who have some kind of solution to end our social problems, then Google is going to help them. That's all. We'll move to the next question. Now this question is with respect to detection of tuberculosis, that is diagnosis. So the first says rapid molecular, sputum and culture based methods are only 50% accurate in early detection of tuberculosis in the patients. This statement is absolutely correct. In fact, this is one of the major debatable issues in diagnosis of TB. The second says National Strategic Plan has set a target of TB elimination by 2025. This statement is also correct. The third says the Health Ministry has signed an MOU with Wadhwani Institute of Artificial Intelligence to explore the application of artificial intelligence technology in its fight against tuberculosis. This statement is also correct. The fourth says MDR-TB is not resistant to anti-TB drugs. This statement is wrong because MDR-TB is actually resistant to anti-TB drugs like, for example, isoniazid. Fine. So 1, 2 and 3 are correct. So correct answer will be option number C. Fine. Now some validation about this. So India is a country with the highest burden of TBs, and according to WHO, India has close to 27 lakhs TB cases every year and 4.3 lakh deaths, and that is the data of 2016. Now, as per the National Strategic Plan of 2017-2025, it has been said that India will eliminate TB by 2025, and that is 5 years ahead of the Global Sustainable Development Targets. Now, most of the tests used for the early detection of TB are not promising. For example, sputum testing, which is quite popular among the masses, is only 50% accurate, and it frequently misses the disease in its early stage. Now, molecular testing, while highly accurate, but it is too expensive for the population, and that is why the health agencies throughout the world, they're exploring some kind of new innovation with the use of artificial intelligence. That's all. Question number 3 is about National Electronics Policy 2019. The first says it aims at making India a global hub for electronics system design and manufacturing. This statement is correct. The second says it promotes domestic manufacturing in the entire value chain of ESDM, including core components and materials. This statement is also correct. The third says modified special incentive package scheme, that is MSIPS, was launched under this policy in 2019. This statement is wrong because MSIPS was basically launched in this National Electronics Policy 2012 and not 2019, and in fact it has been ended in 2018. So only 1 and 2 are correct. So correct answer will be option number B. Now some validation. So what is this National Electronics Policy? So National Electronics Policy is launched in 2019 and it replaced the earlier National Electronics Policy 2012. Now it aims at making India a global hub for electronic system design and manufacturing by creating an enabling environment for industry to compete globally. Now, NEP 2019 primarily targets increasing the electronic goods export, and the rising trend has been seen in electronics amid slowdown in the Indian economy. That's all. Question number 4 is regarding a famous project, that is Project Miniature Sun. So the first is is India's indigenously designed and developed plasma-based fusion reactor. This statement is wrong because as far as project miniature is concerned, India is a major part of this project, but it is not indigenously designed and developed in India. The second says it aims to harness fusion energy by mimicking the sun and the other stars. This statement is correct. So only 2 is the correct statement. So option number B. Now let us see what is this project miniature sun. So the nicknamed as miniature sun International Thermonuclear Experimental Reactor, that is ITER, is the largest plasma based fusion reactor ever built in the world. Now it is the costliest technological project of 21st century and the estimated cost is $25 billion. Fine. And the project is located where? The project is located at France. Now the term thermonuclear itself indicates that it is nothing but it is a nuclear fusion reaction. You might be very aware about fission reaction and fusion reaction. Now ITR will be two times the size of the largest fusion reactor that we have present, and the chamber volume will be 10 times the present one that we have at presently in the world. Fine. Now what is the contribution of India? So India is going to contribute Cryostat, and that is the world's largest refrigerator, which weight around 3,800 tons and made with stainless steel, and it has been built by the famous company L&T Larsen and Turbo. Now what is the use of this refrigerator? So it will cover the entire structure and keep the magnetic components at a very low temperature for maintaining the superconductivity of the magnets. That's all. Now question number 7 is about K2-18b. So the first says it is potentially a habitable planet. So this statement is correct. The second statement says it is the only planet orbiting a star outside the solar system that is known to have both water and temperature that can support life. This statement is also correct. The third says it is 8 times the mass of Jupiter. This is little tricky statement because it is not correct, because it is not 8 times the mass of Jupiter, but it is 8 times the mass of Earth. So 1 and 2 are the correct statement here. So correct answer will be option number B. Now let us see what is this K2-18b. So K2-18b was first discovered in 2015 by NASA's which are now retired Kepler's Space Telescope. It was found orbiting around the red dwarf star's habitable zone, making it an ideal candidate to have liquid surface water. Now having a mass that is 8 times greater than the Earth's, K2-18b is also known as super Earth exoplanet with masses between those of Earth and Neptune. Now, what is this exoplanet? So all of the planets in our solar system, they basically orbit around the sun. But the planets that orbit around other stars, they are called exoplanets. Now exoplanets are very hard to see directly with the telescopes because obviously they are too far, and they are also hidden by the bright glares of the star around which they orbit. Now the most massive planet listed on the NASA exoplanet archive is HR 2562b, which is about 30 times the mass of the Jupiter. That's all. Fine. So this is about X-Tenstor, which was in news recently. So what is this? An asteroid which might strike the Earth. The part of the annual exercise of the Russian armed forces, a military exercise between India and Thailand, a vaccine to prevent malaria. So correct answer is it is a part of annual exercises of Russian armed forces training cycle. Now what is this Tenstar? So Russia holds this major military exercise every year at one of its 4 military commands. Now the series of exercise rotates through the 4 main Russian operational strategic commands. Now this year the exercise, that is TENS 2019, will be conducted by Central Military Commission of Russia, and apart from Russia, other countries are also going to take part in this. For example, China, India, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, Pakistan and Uzbekistan will also take part in this mega event. Now what is the purpose of this mega event? So the exercise aims at evolving drills of the participating armies and practicing them in fight against the scourge of international terrorism, thereby ensuring the military security in the strategic Central Asian region. That's all. Now this question is about eSIM. You might have heard about eSIM in the various news of cyber crimes. The first says eSIM technology supports multiple accounts and switching them is super easy. This statement is correct. The second is it will make device smaller. This is very easy to guess because since it's an electronic SIM, device will obviously be smaller. The third says it could be extremely helpful for wearable device. Of course, wearable device demand the devices to be very small, and eSIM support. So this statement is also correct. All 1, 2 and 3 are correct. This is the correct answer. Now what is this eSIM? So eSIM is exactly what it sounds like. that is electronic or embedded SIM. Now instead of a physical card, SIM technology is built right into your phone. It's a small chip that is used to authenticate our identity with our carrier. Now one of the advantages of eSIM technology is that it makes much easier to switch carriers. Now instead of having order of new SIM and wait for a long time, you can switch to a new carrier straight from your phone itself. So it's a very innovative technology. We'll move to the next question. Again, there are three statements and we have to choose the correct statement. The first says, and we have to choose a statement regarding African swine fever. The first says it's an hemorrhagic viral disease of pigs. This statement is correct. The second says it is related to classical swine flu fever. So this statement is wrong because Asian swine fever is not related to classical swine fever and both are different. The third says it severely impacts human health and could be lethal. So this statement is wrong because ASF is not a risk to human health as it is relatively harmless to the human. So only one is the correct answer here. So option number A is the correct answer. Now some validation. So what is the African swine fever? So historically outbreaks have been reported in Africa and parts of Europe, South America and the Caribbean. But more recently, that is since 2007, the disease has been reported in multiple countries across Africa, Asia and also in Europe and in both domestic and wild pigs. Fine. Now this transboundary animal disease can spread by live or dead pigs, domestic or wild, and even the pork products. That's all. And one more thing, that there is currently no approved vaccine for this Asian swine fever. Fine. We'll move to the next question. So we have to choose the correct statement here. Fine. So this is about Anopheles mosquito. Fine. So Japanese encephalitis. This is correct. Then sandflies, Kala Azar, this is also correct. Then Aedes mosquito Rift Valley fever. This statement is also correct. Basically in this question all the statement 1, 2 and 3 are correctly matched. D will be the correct answer. Now this question is self-explanatory. We'll move to the next question. Now consider the following statement regarding Hawk technology in railways. Fine. The first is the new technology is expected to transform the way air conditions are run and the power is supplied in the railway coaches. This statement also is correct because Hawk technology is about air conditions. The second is it will ensure sustainable use of resources. This statement is also correct. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct. So what is this Hawk technology? So the new technology is expected to transform the way air conditions run and the power is supplied in the railway coaches. Now in Hawk technology, power is fed from the electric locomotive to the train and it will reduce the power consumption to drastic level, thus opening the door towards sustainable use of resources. So basically government, by the use of this Hawk technology, government is trying to reduce the power consumption of AC coaches. So that's all for today. I hope you liked the class. Please like and subscribe our channel for more such videos. Thank you very much.